Kinda sick right now, so sorry if I sound weird during this video. Chances are, if you play Gorilla Tag, you've seen cheaters in public lobbies, or just during playing the game in general. If you see someone in city, usually it's pretty obvious, like they're flying around or they're in the floor or something, or they're just trolling around. But if you see it in a public lobby, an infection or something, they're probably using it as an advantage against other people. Either they're tag warring, like where they just reach out their arm like super far away, like on the other side of the map, and tag them, or they're using it to run. Whether running is just escaping the lava monkey in any means possible, or actual running, like this. Yeah, I'm literally so fast, literally. But chances are you've seen one of those people. And in this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to catch them. Even if you're not on Steam, you can do this on Quest. I'm on Quest, so I'm going to be showing you guys how to do it. How to catch cheaters on Quest yourself, which is the majority of the Gorilla Tag players. But the first thing we're going to do is do in-game checks. In-game checks are literally just self-explanatory. Inside of the game, checks. And I'm going to split this up into two separate parts. One for the Quest players, how to catch them cheating, and then one for the Steam players, how to catch them cheating. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to teach you how you can actually deep check a Quest player. First things first, if you think someone's cheating, first ask what headset they're on. If they try and lie about it or something, then just leave them and you can just report them. For any of these, you can just report them and leave. Because they won't get false banned, and if they do get false banned, they can always just appeal and get unbanned. So if you think someone's cheating and isn't wanting to do your checks, just report them. So once they tell you your headset, you're gonna make sure they're telling the truth. So for a Quest headset, there's really nothing you can do except one thing, is just to make a really hard S sound like this. And you can tell in their mic that it will sound very buggy, because that's just how Steam players, like not Quest players, mic sound, I don't know. And Quest players should be pretty smooth. You'll hear a big difference if it is. If you can't tell, ask someone else in the lobby to make an S that you know for sure is on Quest. But let's say they're on a Steam powered headset. So then if they say they're on a Valve Index, tell them to put their controllers on the ground, take one step back, so the controller should look like this, and then tell them to click the button at the bottom left of their headset. This should make them go inside of their menu. This should make them go inside their menu. Their menu is going to look like that, kind of. And the only other way you could go in your menu is by clicking your controllers, but if the controllers are too far away from them, they won't be able to click it. So that's how you know if they're on a Valve Index. If they say they're on a Rift or a Rift S, then tell them to use their controller to scratch underneath their headset where your mic is. So in simple, tell them to scratch their mic. They'll probably know what you're talking about, because most players know how to check for Rift. You hear a high-pitched kind of material that when they scratch it, it sounds like a zipper kind of. Not really, but you'll hear it a lot different. If they say Pico 4 or any Pico, you can either just stop checking them, because it's very hard to check Pico players and usually they're all cheating. Just report them and leave. Or you can tell them to try and do this world scale check. And you see on my fingers, I'm on Quest 2, so it's kind of hard because my rings are in the way. But your thumb should get pretty close together like that. But on Pico, you should not be able to do that, because Pico rings are super big. So you shouldn't be able to get anywhere close. But Pico players, I would highly advise just to not check them with the headset checks, because it's very hard to. And now for the checks. Once you know what headset they're on, you can either do Quest checks or Steam checks, depending on what headset you're on. Quest checks are very simple. There's only about two things you can do for Quest checks. First one is tell them to put their hands in the air and then shake their head as fast and hard as you can, left to right. And then if their body sinks in, I'm going to grab underneath slide to do this. If their body sinks in like this, then that means they're on some sort of low hertz. I'm on 60 hertz, the lowest legal hertz, that you can use, and I'm not syncing. So if they say, oh, that's just 60 hertz or something, they're lying. Make sure they're on a flat surface so you can see. Also, look how hard I'm about to do it, and I'm still gonna pass. So that's not an excuse that you're doing it too hard and you're failing. Hertz are almost 100% of the time directly correlated with preds, so you don't need to do preds check because they're very passable and there's just no reason to do that. So the only other thing a player could be using is something called PSAing, which is where you move in your IRL boundary. And so how you can check for this is tell them to look backwards and then run as fast as they can, and they will be tiny bit slower, but they should not be like zero speed. Like if you see me, how fast I move just with a regular run, like going forward like this, and then if I turn to like behind me and then run, I'm still very, very fast because I'm not PSAing. Or what you could also do is tell them to come here in blender area and just tell them to run as fast as they can all the way around the middle part of this dome, because if you're PSAing, it's very hard to PSA in a circular boundary. Now with the Steam in-game checks, you can do the exact same thing for Hertz and PSA as Quest players, but Steam players might be using mods to make them faster. So this one, you can try and pred check them if they're on like 100 or something, then they will fail, but highly doubt anyone's gonna use just preds. If you think they're using long arms, tell them to put their hand directly on the top of their head, like this. I have a small gap because camera mod doesn't smooth stuff out, but I have that small gap because my head's there on Quest 2, I don't know why. Your head's just there. If you use the camera mod, you guys will see the same thing, but it's basically touching. Oh, there we go. But it should be basically touching, or like a quarter of an inch gap. Index players can pass this. Tell them to rotate their controller because the ring's gonna be in the way, or you can just guesstimate it. Like if I put my ring directly on the top of my head and then put my hand down, I have that small gap. So you can just guesstimate how big the gap is. This is my ring directly on top of my head because I'm on a Quest 2, so I have rings. Same with Rift S. You can just tell them to rotate their controller, put it directly on your head. Now if they have a gap like this, then that's world scale. This is me just holding my hands above my head, but that's world scale, aka long arms. Okay, but what if there is a cheater that's running extremely fast and he passes Hertz and PSA check? What do you do from there? So they could be using something called a pull mod, but no one uses pull mods anymore because they got broken in one of the past updates. If you still think they're cheating in any way, then you can tell them to come over to this ramp up here, run up backwards with tag freeze. That usually stops them from cheating.
Or you can also just tell them to branch and they'll sell.
Yeah.
Just tell them to branch.
Usually what happens. Now, for the moment you guys have all been waiting for. So to deep check Quest players, there's two things. If they don't use sidequest or any other hertz besides the regular 90 hertz, then literally just tell them to turn on their phone camera, hold down their headset, turn it back on. As soon as they turn on their headset, tell them to share their screen on the MetaQuest app, and then tell them to cast it so you can see their screen. Tell them to join a code with you in it, tell them to run, and if they're off, then they're cheating. Time it to a previous video, or ask them to run before the deep check and compare times. But to deep check a Quest player that does use sidequest to change their hertz, by the way, sidequest is the only allowed thing to change your hertz, because if you heard something called ocular migraine, that's a third-party source. You can, Pepsi D knows all about that. And it's not allowed because it's not partnered with Oculus or anything. Ocular migraine is a completely separate thing that's not allowed for Gorilla Tag. So if you use it, stop using it. It's not allowed. It's cheating. Okay, so once they're sharing their screen, tell them to completely power off their headset, then to share their screen to sidequest once it's off and plug in your headset. Then, first thing you want to do is tell them to click the box top right, like you're seeing right now. Click this, and then type in this, and then you should see a bunch of info about your headset. Scroll down into around this area, and you should see some ADBs there. So this shows all hertz and illegal preds that they've ran through their headset, or what sidequest settings they're on currently. If you don't see anything there, it's fine. Doesn't mean they didn't use them. They could have deleted them or something. So we continue the deep check. That doesn't mean they passed. Next thing, you want them to turn on your settings. The only legal settings are the ones stated here. These ones are the only legal ones that you're allowed to use. So follow these rules. Then tell them to unplug their headset, and then share their screen, and then go to this website, oculus.com/casting, then, or their Meta Horizon app, depending if you're on a PC or on a phone. Then share your screen before you enter Gorilla Tag, okay? Make sure their camera's on to make sure they don't mess with sidequest, or you can tell them to turn off their PC, and show them turning off their PC so they can't mess with any sidequest settings during the deep check. And then hop in a code with them and make sure OVR is on. Search up a tutorial if you don't know how to get OVR. It basically just shows your preds and hertz. And then tell them to run. If they bounce up or shoot up or something while they're running, let them redo it. Doesn't mean that they're failing by shooting up in the air, and it doesn't mean they're failing if their tracking goes out. So let them go, let them get a clean run until they're satisfied with it. And then once they have a clean run, compare the 2 times, and if it's slower by like a whole second, depending on how fast they are, then that means they either fail or pass. Quick tip, be nice during your checks or deep checks. There's no reason to be angry or mad, even if they are cheating. Here's all my members. They're pretty cool, like that guy and that guy. And if you want to become a member, you'll get early access to videos, and in the future, you'll get more early access to live stream codes. You'll get member-only live streams. You'll get a bunch of super duper cool special perks. And yeah, thanks guys for all the support on my last video. That thing blew up. So thank you guys so much with that again. And then also comment down below if you guys think I should try and catch some cheaters myself, like the checks I've used in this video for public lobbies. That's all for now. Peace.